Welcome back to the Human Observation Lab. I'm New York, your host and observer. Today, we're looking at something fascinating: the psychological structures behind why certain products become iconic and why adults are increasingly drawn to things traditionally meant for children.
Hi everyone, I'm Juan. I was looking at the news recently, and I kept seeing headlines about Toy Fair 2026 and articles about finding the next icon bag. It got me thinking, why do we get so caught up in these trends? Like, what makes something iconic anyway?
An excellent question. The term iconic is fascinating from a psychological perspective. It suggests that an object has transcended its functional purpose and become a symbol, a carrier of meaning that extends beyond the product itself. Let's examine this through two recent news items: Toy Fair 2026 in New York, and the search for the next icon bag in fashion.
Two pretty different worlds, right? Toys and high fashion. But I guess there's something connecting them?
Precisely. Both reveal fundamental aspects of human psychology: our need for identity expression, our relationship with nostalgia, and how we construct meaning through consumption. Let's begin with Toy Fair 2026. Toy Fair 2026 is scheduled to be held in New York City, reflecting global toy trends. According to Jetro, this event showcases toys from around the world, including Japan and the United States. But here's what's psychologically significant: the growing kidult market, adults purchasing toys for themselves.
Kidult? Is that a real term? I have friends who buy Lego sets and display them, and they're in their 30s. Is that becoming normal?
It is indeed a recognized market segment. The term kidult, a portmanteau of kid and adult, refers to adults who continue to engage with products and media traditionally associated with children. From a psychological standpoint, this phenomenon reveals several interesting mechanisms.
What kind of mechanisms? Are these people just refusing to grow up?
That's a common surface-level interpretation, but it's more nuanced. Let me introduce a concept called psychological regression in service of the ego. This psychoanalytic concept suggests that temporarily returning to earlier developmental stages, such as play, can actually serve adaptive functions for adults facing stress.
Wait, so playing with toys can actually be healthy? That's kind of surprising.
In moderation, yes. Play activates reward systems in the brain, releasing dopamine and reducing cortisol. For modern adults facing what sociologists call time famine, the subjective feeling of having too much to do and not enough time, play becomes a form of emotional restoration.
Time famine. Yeah, that definitely resonates. Everyone I know feels constantly rushed. So toys become like an escape?
Partly, but there's more. We also see nostalgia marketing at work. Nostalgia, psychologically speaking, serves what's called an existential function. When people feel uncertain about the present or future, they turn to the past for comfort. Toys from one's childhood, or toys that evoke childhood aesthetics, provide what researchers call nostalgic anchoring.
Nostalgic anchoring. That's a really evocative phrase. So it's like dropping an anchor in familiar waters when the sea gets stormy?
An apt metaphor. Research by Wildschut et al. Published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that nostalgia increases feelings of social connectedness and provides existential meaning. Toy companies understand this implicitly, which is why we see so many reboots and revivals of classic toy lines.
That makes so much sense. I've noticed that every time a movie from my childhood gets a remake, suddenly there are toys everywhere. It's like they're pulling at my heartstrings on purpose.
They are. But there's another layer: what sociologist Thorstein Veblen called conspicuous consumption has evolved. High-end collectibles, limited edition figures, premium Lego sets priced at hundreds of dollars, serve as status signals. The toy becomes not just a source of play, but a marker of identity and economic capital.
So it's not just I like this toy, it's also I can afford this expensive toy, and this says something about who I am?
Exactly. This connects to what psychologist Irving Goffman called presentation of self. We curate our possessions to project a particular image. An adult displaying carefully arranged collectibles is communicating, "I have not lost my sense of wonder," or "I value creativity and imagination."
That's really interesting. It's like the toy becomes a prop in the story we're telling about ourselves?
Precisely. And this transitions us to our next topic, the fashion industry's search for the next icon bag, where we see similar psychological mechanisms at play, but with different cultural implications. Madame Figaro's 2026 Spring/Summer Trend Report poses an interesting question: find the next icon bag. This headline reveals something fundamental about how the fashion industry and consumers think about products.
An icon bag. I've heard that term before, like the Birkin or the Chanel 2.55. Bags that everyone recognizes instantly. But what makes a bag iconic? Is it just about being expensive?
Price is a factor, but not the determining one. An icon in semiotics, the study of signs, is something that stands for more than itself. When a handbag becomes iconic, it transforms from a container for belongings into a carrier of cultural meaning. It signals taste, status, and belonging to a particular social group.
So it's like, the bag tells a story about the person carrying it without them having to say anything?
That's the essence of what anthropologists call material culture. Objects communicate. The question "find the next icon bag" is really asking, what object will next serve as a widely recognized symbol of distinction?
Distinction. That word has a specific meaning here, doesn't it?
Indeed. French sociologist Pierre Bourdieu wrote extensively about distinction, how social classes differentiate themselves through taste. What we choose to buy, wear, and display marks our position in the social hierarchy. An icon bag serves as what Bourdieu called cultural capital in objectified form.
Cultural capital. So it's like having knowledge and taste that not everyone has access to?
Yes. When someone purchases an iconic bag, they're not just buying a product, they're buying entry into a symbolic community. The psychological mechanism at work here involves what social identity theory calls in-group bias. We derive part of our self-esteem from the groups we belong to, and possessions can signal group membership.
So when I see someone with a really recognizable bag, I immediately make assumptions about them, like, oh, they're successful, or they have good taste.
Exactly. And those assumptions are precisely what make the bag iconic. Its meaning is collectively understood. But here's where it gets interesting. The fashion industry is always searching for the next icon, which reveals a tension in consumer psychology.
What kind of tension?
The tension between what psychologist Robert Cialdini calls social proof, the desire to have what others have, and the need for uniqueness. An icon bag satisfies both. It's widely recognized, social proof, but often exclusive enough to feel special, uniqueness. However, this balance is inherently unstable.
Because if too many people have it, it stops being special.
Precisely. This creates what economists call the snob effect. As more people acquire a status good, its value to early adopters decreases. The industry must constantly generate new icons to maintain the exclusivity premium that drives desire. Now let's step back and examine the broader psychological pattern. Whether it's toys for adults or icon bags, we see humans engaging in what I'll call meaning-making through consumption. This is a fundamental aspect of modern identity construction.
Meaning-making through consumption. That sounds kind of deep for just buying stuff. Is it really that significant?
In pre-modern societies, identity was largely ascribed. You were born into a role. In modern consumer society, identity is to a significant extent achieved and expressed through consumption choices. Sociologist Zygmunt Bauman described this as liquid modernity. Identities are fluid, constantly constructed and reconstructed through what we consume.
So we're kind of building ourselves through what we buy? That sounds both empowering and a little exhausting.
Your observation touches on what psychologists call decision fatigue. The burden of constant identity construction can indeed be exhausting. This may explain why iconic products are so appealing. They offer a prepackaged identity, a shortcut. I am the kind of person who carries this bag, or I am the kind of adult who appreciates sophisticated toys.
So iconic products are like identity shortcuts? They do some of the work of self-definition for us?
That's an insightful way to frame it. Additionally, we must consider what behavioral economists call the bandwagon effect, the tendency for people to adopt behaviors, styles, and attitudes simply because others are doing so. This is amplified in the age of social media.
Oh, absolutely. I see something on Instagram, and suddenly I feel like I need it. It's like, everyone has it, so I should too?
The algorithms amplify this by creating what researchers call perceived consensus. We overestimate how many people actually own or want a particular product. This triggers what's known as fear of missing out, or FOMO, which is a form of social anxiety.
FOMO is so real. I've definitely bought things because I was afraid of being left out. Is that unhealthy?
It's not inherently unhealthy, it's a natural social instinct. Humans are what evolutionary psychologists call obligatorily gregarious. We must live in groups. Monitoring what others in our group are doing and aligning our behavior accordingly was once essential for survival. The question is whether this instinct serves us well in the context of modern consumer culture.
I'm guessing the answer is sometimes yes, sometimes no?
Precisely. When trend following connects us to communities and brings genuine joy, it can be positive. When it creates anxiety, financial strain, or a sense of inadequacy, it becomes problematic. The key is what psychologists call autonomous motivation versus controlled motivation.
Could you explain the difference?
Autonomous motivation means you're acting from genuine interest and personal values. You buy that Lego set because building it brings you joy. Controlled motivation means you're acting from external pressure. You buy the icon bag because you fear judgment or seek validation. Research consistently shows that autonomous motivation leads to greater well-being. Let's synthesize our observations. Toy Fair 2026 and the search for the next icon bag both reveal how modern humans navigate identity, belonging, and meaning through consumption. The psychological mechanisms include nostalgia, status-seeking, identity expression, and social proof.
It's kind of amazing when you think about it. A toy or a handbag isn't just a product. It's carrying all this psychological weight.
Indeed. But I want to emphasize that this isn't something to judge. The desire for iconic products, the comfort of nostalgic play, these are deeply human responses to the complexities of modern life. Understanding the psychology doesn't mean we should stop enjoying these things.
So it's more about awareness, knowing why we want what we want.
Exactly. Self-awareness allows us to make choices aligned with our genuine values rather than being unconsciously driven by marketing and social pressure. We can ask ourselves, am I buying this because it truly resonates with me, or because I feel I should have it?
That's a really helpful question. I think I'll be asking myself that next time I feel the urge to buy something trendy.
That's the value of psychological analysis, not to dictate behavior, but to illuminate the structures underlying our choices. Whether you're an adult building Lego sets or saving for an iconic handbag, what matters is that your choices serve your authentic well-being.
Thank you, New York. This was really eye-opening. I feel like I understand myself and everyone else a little better now.
You're welcome, Juan. And thank you to our viewers for joining us in the Human Observation Lab. Remember, observing ourselves is the first step toward understanding. Until next time, keep watching, keep questioning, and keep thinking.